Hey, this is Dave Pryor. Welcome to Leading Agile Soundnotes. We're here live at Agile 2017 all week long, doing interviews with people that are speaking at the event, people that run the event, other thought leaders in the space, and people that are doing amazing things to transform the world and save the children from the waterfall. And Mike Vizdos is one of those people. So Mike, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Dave.
So, we're going to talk about a couple things,
okay.
But let's start out with Scrum in schools. So can you, for the folks that aren't familiar, if you don't know about Scrum in schools, can you give them a little briefing on what it is?
Absolutely. It started out with John Miller with Agile Classrooms, and he's been going around, and he's actually in Vietnam right now, doing some work with one of the schools there. And him and I paired up pretty early on with actually trying to get Scrum and Agile into the classrooms. I've been working with IT departments within education and with the faculty and staff.
Okay.
One of the things I've been working on kind of separately from what John has been working on is the teaching Scrum as an alternative for project management instead of CAPM or PMI.
That's awesome.
You say that.
No, I see, because when I learned that stuff, the first thing I thought was, why didn't anyone teach this to me in high school? Because getting ready for college, like all that prep stuff, and when I got to college, if I'd had a way that I could figure out what I was supposed to do, it was simple, it would have been a lot better than it turned out.
Yeah, and what's evolving into now is VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, has this thing called the DaVinci Center, which is kind of overlapping 5 different colleges within the university. They hired me on as a full-time, well, as a part-time professor, and they put me in as Scrum Master in Residence. Scrum Master in Residence. So they have their alumni and their teachers and students are asking for this now.
That's great.
So one of the things we're going to disrupt, kind of higher ed, is starting to put this into place as curriculum.
Wow. So they'll teach it to like all the incoming kids so they know how to do their work. So not just like,
not
let's
just
learn how
IT.
to do this to go back and do, to go into the profession, but how to manage your work at school. That's wonderful.
Yep.
That's really cool. So what other kinds of things are going on with that you and John are working on?
We've been really focusing on actually working with the kids in the classroom. And it's been fun to watch the evolution of how this is working. When we first started it, it was trying to keep the Scrum terms out of the classroom. And what we found out through a lot of feedback and learning was using the Scrum terms in the classroom with the teachers and students actually helps.
Why is that, do you think?
It gives more structure, and then it doesn't confuse the terminology.
And so then they're able to take it outside. Now you worked with a school with Grandview Prep here in Florida, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And so one of the things that was so cool, that's high school. Well, it was all ages, right?
It's up through high school.
But it started with the high school, the kid that was in high school that was a student or child of one of the teachers. Right?
Yep.
That's another thing, that if you have a kid who's getting ready for school, and a lot of parents are very overwhelmed with that whole process, and this is another way to simplify that and be able to look at it and see how it's supposed to flow.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And we're actually finding the children on like the spectrum of autism or Asperger's or anything like that start to really just thrive in this environment. And again, I'm not a PhD or anything with this kind of stuff, and that might be a good thing for people to start looking into, but my hypothesis is that this basic framework gives them enough structure to thrive.
And it's simple too. It's not like a complicated
thing. It's very simple, right? And and again, with that regular heartbeat of delivery, it's huge advantages. And kids that wouldn't look me in the eye when I first started working with them are starting to do public speaking.
That's amazing. That's got to be so rewarding. I mean,
it is.
There's the Hope School stuff, those sessions. Like that's the only time I've ever been to a conference where I've cried in a session. When those kids get up, it's like, it's amazing to see the transformation in their lives.
And even with those kids, some of them are pretty far on the spectrum, and you would not be able to tell it.
That's awesome.
You know, and one of my tough jobs is working with Kristen occasionally and pushing back and saying, just stay out of the kids' way. Let them do this.
Well, that's got to be hard too for teachers and for parents to kind of back off. What's the reaction been like for people that run the schools? Because like I know that, I think it was at Hope where they're using it to help the kids figure out what they want to do and stuff like that. So it's almost a little bit homeschooly in some respects. How is that for the teachers to let go of some of that control? Do they have the same kind of issues management does?
Yeah, and there is turnover.
Right,
because there's people that want to just do control the classroom. I have to tell the student what to learn. And again, I'm not a teacher or an administrator, and what I'm
But you
starting
are
to learn.
You teach all the time.
I have no formal training
Okay.
as a teacher in a classroom.
Okay.
And that's important. And what I'm finding is this project-based learning that has been around for a long time
Right.
in teaching, the people that are using that thrive with this too.
That's great.
Because then again, it gives them a structure or a framework on top of project-based learning
Yeah.
to say, here's how to get stuff done.
How to do it, yeah.
So like Iowa Big with Eric
Okay.
is doing an awesome job.
That's great.
And this is happening all around the world.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, John's in Vietnam, right?
Yep.
It's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of stuff going on in Europe. Where would you say like the best response has been that you've seen in terms of the willingness to be able to try it in the school systems?
I think it's finding a sponsor, a lot like when we do
Okay.
this in industry,
Okay.
right? That gets it. And it might just start with a parent or a teacher or even a student.
Yeah.
Right, and we've seen all kind of things like that happen. Right?
Yeah.
So finding the influencers, don't trying to make this system wide. Don't try to go in and say we're going to do this.
Transform the whole school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, sound familiar?
All at once, just like that. Just
Yeah.
go down to the store, buy a box of Agile, it'll all be fine.
And it won't work.
Yeah.
So we created a community at agileinaeducation.org
Okay.
where anybody can come and join us.
Okay.
And what's amazing is there's probably close to 200 and something people now in a Slack group.
Wow.
And what's frustrating to me and a lot of people is people aren't collaborating. Dang it, they're not collaborating.
Okay. You just make them do that, Mike.
Can't. And now people are starting to go, okay, we're here and
Yeah.
we're doing stuff and it's happening all over the world.
Yeah.
I want them to now start
To share.
to share, right? I
Okay.
mean, this is not your stuff.
That's a
This is-
really
we
big
didn't
distributed
reinvent.
team.
It is.
Yeah.
That has never
It's
met.
funny how the problems that we have in work keep showing up everywhere else.
And it's people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. So if they want to learn more about it, they go to.
Agileineducation.org.
Okay.
And then I've got scruminschool.org.
Okay.
Where I've kind of shared the evolution of what I've been doing over the past
Okay.
few years.
Cool. This is great. So thank you for doing
Yeah,
this.
thank you.
And you should definitely check this out. But now we're going to talk about something else.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about the mentoring stuff you're doing with Ron.
Yeah, Ron Jeffries and I run a site called AgileMentoring.com. And this is another experiment. You know, Ron loves to talk, and he's on every email list imaginable.
And he's not shy.
And he's not shy, and he's not quiet. For about 6 months, I was really prodding Ron. I was like, "Come on, Ron, do this with me, do this with me." And he's just like, go ahead and do this, And what we did is basically our MVP, our minimum viable product, was set up a landing page and set up a Slack group, and have people pay to come in and do this. And Ron was like, "Nobody's going to pay to do this."
And Ron was wrong.
Ron was wrong.
So if you're listening to this, so that what they can do is they can come and sign up, and if they want virtual coaching,
Yep.
right?
So we have virtual coaching, and it's basically a Slack channel where you can go and get peer-to-peer mentoring and coaching from other people around the world too. It's coaches.
So it's not just you guys; it's
No.
other people. Oh,
Yeah,
great. Okay.
yeah.
How many people are involved with it?
So right now there's probably about 40 people in the group.
Okay.
So it's not a big group, which we
Right.
kind of like. And as it starts to grow, what we're finding is people coming in, just like coming into a new virtual team, right, have to learn the norms.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of storming constantly happening.
Okay.
So we're finding, group leaders pop up and people are lurking, and even the lurkers now start to pop in and say,
Chime in.
hey, So even with Slack, as you know, you can do your direct messages, you can set up your private channels. Again, it's the purpose really is to create a safe space, and that definition of safe is different for people that are in
So
that
when you
space.
put Ron in the room, the definition.
It is, and so our jobs as moderators really of
Yeah.
this Slack channel or Slack team is to make sure that we keep things moving along.
Yeah. Cool. So what kind of people are signing up? Like what are some common problems that you guys are seeing show up?
A lot with how do we do this as coaches.
Okay.
And what's great is Ron and I definitely have opinions, and sometimes they're vastly different. But the participants, right, the members of this group, also share their experiences, and a lot of them are very vocal also.
Okay. So this is not something like if I'm in a company and I'm just trying to figure out how to do Scrum. This is for Agile coaches now.
So we have Agile coaches and people within the company.
Oh, you
that
have
are doing
both.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
it's people who are trying to figure out, right, how do we do Agile? I'm seeing a lot of Agile coaches start to come in.
Okay, that's cool. So downstairs, if you're not here, downstairs in one of the big rooms, they have an Agile therapy environment, which is different. There used to be a coaches clinic, and the idea was to change that and create a space where it's not just how do I tactically do this thing, but there were stories yesterday, like people are coming up, am I crazy? Does this seem totally wrong? I mean, do you get that kind of stuff? Like, I just want to be told, like, yeah, that's totally jacked up. Like, no one should be doing that. Or this is right. This is just, you got to deal with it.
Yep, and a lot of times it's just creating the space to listen to people.
Yeah, and be supportive.
Yep, and also as Agile coaches, right, if you don't have a license to say, get on that black couch, don't do that. That's creating a lot of damage for people, right? When that happens, I do always encourage people, go see somebody,
Okay.
right, that has those qualifications. Because me as an Agile coach or mentor, right, I'm not that person.
Yeah, that's great. So if you're curious about this, where do they go?
AgileMentoring.com.
Okay, and you can get some support and be in an environment of peers and practitioners and people who do this all day long who can help you figure out how to do what you're trying to do.
And it's all around the world.
Cool. And what about if they want to just get in touch with you? What's the best way to do that?
Go to michaelvizdos.com or follow me on Twitter with at MVIZDOS.
And one of the amazing things about Mike is that he will let you book time with him whenever you want to. Which I see that, I'm like, oh, no way am I doing that. But you're very open about that kind of stuff, which is really great.
Well, and I want to encourage people to do that because as much as I put myself out there, not a lot of people follow through on it.
That's scary.
It is.
I think a lot of people, that's what I think is cool about the mentoring thing. A lot of people don't want to ask questions because they don't want to seem dumb. Like, I was just downstairs in my daily stand-up, and this lady's like, I've been to 3 sessions, I still am trying to figure out what DevOps is. Like, no one can give me an answer for what DevOps is. And this would be a safe place where she could ask that and not worry about, and you don't want to broadcast that to everybody because people might be like, yeah. That's cool. Well, thank you for doing this, man.
Thank you.
Great seeing you. Keep watching. We're going to be doing videos, live interviews all day today, all the rest of the week. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.